Hello, Mark Red Larson here with the Dreamcatcher Podcast. Thanks for joining us. My guest today is Tim Craig. How are you doing, Tim?
Doing great.
So,
Thanks for having me.
well, thanks for being here. So we're actually we're in Kearney, Nebraska,
Yep.
at your business here, Penny Coffee,
Yep.
and we haven't known each other too long. I don't know when. I don't. I think maybe I just came in one time for coffee, and
Yeah.
so
A few months.
so a little bit of background about your coffee house, you, and just kind of general
Yeah.
lay that out.
Yeah. I grew up in Lincoln, but also lived in Washington State for a while. And then back in 2023, my wife and I and our kids moved back to the Midwest, the great Midwest,
Okay.
at Kearney, Nebraska. And I'd been roasting coffee for about 5 or 6 years and wanted to set up shop here to roast coffee. I have some online business. And then
Okay.
in the process, the spot that we found to put the roaster, we were able to start a coffee shop too. So
Okay.
that's how Penny Coffee Roast House was born, and it's been almost coming up on a year now. So
Wow.
in September,
Congratulations. So, how did you come up with the name?
Penny Coffee. So in England, some of the first coffee houses were called Penny Universities.
Okay.
And the idea is that they were often located near a traditional university or colleges.
Which makes
And
sense.
so the professors would come in and the students, and they'd have their conversations about what they'd just been learning.
Okay.
And then anybody coming in and buying coffee, which at that point was a penny,
Okay. Makes sense.
or pennies, whatever.
Sure.
They would, in a sense, get an education just listening to these profs and students converse.
Cool.
And so they were called penny universities.
I like that.
As opposed to the
Yeah.
full-fledged, full-price university. So I love coffee, and I especially love
Me
the
too.
conversation and
Yep.
community that happens around coffee. So
I do
that
too.
idea of Penny University and the collection of ideas and having great conversation around a cup of coffee, that's where we came up
It's
with the name.
such a
Penny Coffee.
win-win. Yeah, it is. So, when you were younger, this has been a dream kind of for quite a while?
No, I can remember one of my very first cups of coffee, and it was actually later in my teens.
Okay.
19 or something like that. My parents drank some, but they didn't drink
Did not.
much.
Okay.
So it wasn't a coffee culture house that I grew up in. And then I was in Russia for a time, and
Oh, wow.
we didn't drink. They didn't really have that much
Really?
coffee
They
over
didn't?
there.
Okay.
They have some, but not a whole lot. This was back in the 90s. So
Okay.
shortly after communism fell.
Okay.
And so we were there 95 to 99. So there wasn't a whole lot of coffee there. So remember going to a Starbucks in Seattle area.
Yeah.
And of course, first time there, didn't know anything of what was up on the board.
Yep.
And not to look stupid because I was a teenager. I was there with a friend and I just ordered what he ordered,
Right.
which happened to be a quad shot Americano.
Oh, wow.
Which Starbucks
What a way to start out.
Quad shot Americano. I gagged on it, and I was
I'm
like, "Whoa, this is terrible." I think they put
I-
some sweetener and some cream in it for me, but it was
I can't even imagine what that
it
would
was
be
a pretty
like.
bad experience.
Oh.
So then, just over time, of course, I went back and tried because it's still the cool thing to do.
Right,
in the Pacific
exactly, yeah.
Northwest.
Yeah.
And over time, I certainly began to grow and enjoy coffee more. So then, probably, by the time I was, yeah, not real long, but mid-20s, late 20s, I was pretty addicted to coffee. I enjoyed it, and then
Yeah.
over the years, my tastes have been refined, and certainly, in the coffee industry, we consider that there are 3 waves of coffee. So the first wave is what we call the wave where basically Maxwell House and Folgers,
Right, yeah.
they brought it to the U.S. They
Yeah.
made it accessible to
Yeah.
individuals and that type of thing. Second wave is the culture that Starbucks really often started.
Okay.
Starbucks, Seattle's Best. These
Right.
Pete's Coffee,
Right.
these chains that have made more of the specialty drinks, have some specialized roasting, but it's still largely more bulk still.
Sure.
So now there's a third wave that's beginning, and obviously in the more in the coast, and it's coming to Central
Right.
America. So
Yeah.
Midwest is still fairly new to this third wave, but that is micro roasters. So people who roast in house like I do.
Sure.
People do small batches. People do more specialty coffees.
Okay.
And really the goal and the kind of the culture of this third wave is highlighting the coffee itself.
Mm-hmm.
And the flavors and the experience that you get just from the roasting or
Right.
the brewing of the bean, not necessarily all the flavors and the
Sure.
milks or whatever
Yeah.
that you add.
Yeah.
It's really more about the bean and the experience that you can gain from that. So, that as that began to roll into the Pacific Northwest, my taste changed.
Oh, I bet.
And once you
Yeah.
get good coffee, it's hard to go back.
It's very hard to go back. Yes.
Starbucks or whatever it is. So,
Yeah.
I enjoy really good coffee, and I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
So I got into roasting for myself.
Okay. There you go.
Very accessible
Uh-huh.
for our home roasters.
Okay.
It really is. It's pretty amazing if you have the patience for it.
Okay.
And by patience, I just mean it actually doesn't take that long to roast.
Really?
So my batches on my commercial roaster are about 9 minutes.
9 minutes?
Yep.
That isn't long.
So you can do it even in an air popcorn popper. You can do it in
Interesting. Okay. Never would have
a
thought of
cast
that.
iron skillet. You can roast coffee a bunch of different ways. The air pop is one of the most consistent because you don't want to burn your beans. So
Sure.
you have to constantly be stirring, like in a cast iron or something like that.
Okay.
But they also make a roaster that's called a fresh roast, and it roasts about 4 ounces at a time.
Okay.
And it's pretty easy. It's just kind of you set your time, push the button, and it.
I did not know that was a thing. Okay.
So that's how I got into it. As
Okay.
my brother gave me one of those, and I got some pretty good results.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a 1 pound Baymore roaster. It's like basically a glorified toaster oven
Okay.
with a rotisserie in it.
Okay.
And then I jumped up to a 1 kilo Mill City roaster, drum roaster, commercial, and then now I have a fluid bed roaster built by Coffee Crafters.
Nice.
Both a 2 pound and a 12-pound roaster.
So how do you go about like finding your beans for the first time? I mean, I don't even know what beans you use for sure.
Yeah.
Or where you get your beans.
Yeah. So when I originally began, I just bought some off Amazon.
Did you? Okay.
So
Okay.
you can find green beans on Amazon. There's another company called Sweet Maria's.
Okay.
That's really popular, and they have good beans. They have really high quality beans. They're a little more expensive, but they're high quality. There's another one called Coffee Bean Corral, I think. I get mine from a place called Genuine Origin.
Okay.
They sell them in 65-pound bags, which for me is kind of where I'm at, the sweet spot.
Perfect. Yeah.
Typically, commercial roasters will buy them in 150-pound sacks.
Okay.
So this is just basically their half sacks.
Okay.
And it's the amount that I need, and that way too I'm able to have a few different origins.
Yeah.
And not
Which is
just
awesome.
have all my eggs in a 150-pound sack of beans.
So when you started almost a year ago on, did you have a vision of what you wanted this to look like? Is it looking like what you wanted?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are really that are coming to fruition. I think, anybody that starts a business, and I'm sure you and your podcast, it takes
Yeah.
the start is slow.
Oh yes.
But it's been fun, especially over this last, I would say the first 6 months of our coffee shop. It's good. We certainly had customer flow, but the growth was very incremental.
Yeah.
And I see it picking up pace.
Yep.
In our coffee shop, I see it picking up pace. Certainly in our sale of the beans at the coffee shop has increased.
I've even noticed that when I've been here. Yeah. So no, it's word of mouth and all that, and incremental on that. So would you want to ever have another coffee after this one kind of gets to? Would you want to ever do like another town, another coffee shop? Another
I
peanut
don't
coffee?
know about another town.
Okay, another one in here in Kearney.
We have some ideas for some expansion and for some um,
Okay,
new stuff. We're still
yeah, you're still in
we're
there.
still in the
Yeah,
early stages and just toying around with it. I know that people in Kearney think there's I know there's a general sentiment of a lot of coffee shops being in Kearney. Coming from the Pacific Northwest, there's
yeah.
plenty of room for growth.
Oh
And then
yes, yes.
as far as um, competition, the majority of the coffee shops in Kearney are not selling. We're not competing for the same
No,
product.
you guys are definitely not on the
So
same level there. Yeah.
we're and
Quite a
they
ways
serve
higher.
great coffee
Yep.
and I'm not. It's just there are different experiences that we're selling.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
I think we have a unique experience, and not
I do
everybody
too.
likes it, and that's just great.
Yep.
That's why we have multiple
Yep.
coffee shops.
Yep.
But I do think that it is a good experience that we sell, and I think as people continue to try and experience it, it will grow.
I agree.
I say, if somebody's just a regular dark coffee drinker, I tell them, if you drink my coffee for 2 weeks, take it home, brew it at
Right.
home,
Right.
you will have a hard time going back most of the time. So
Yes.
it just takes a few weeks of realizing that dark is not always better.
Boy, do I agree with you on that. So, no, and we're still in this. There's so many people that drink the Folgers and that kind of stuff, and I won't say anything, but that's what I started out. My grandparents started me out in coffee, which you could stand a spoon up in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my word! I thought if this is coffee, I don't ever want it ever again.
Right.
So, but your coffee is awesome, and your decaf is awesome. You told me that you don't use the chemical, or how do you your
Yeah,
decaf
so there's
is
different processes to decaffeinate coffee.
okay.
Oftentimes, and I forget the exact process, but the traditional method uses some chemicals and some bleach to pull it out. So that's not a great option for you. There's a popular process that's called the decaf process in the Swiss water.
Okay.
And so that's a good way for
Interesting.
them to
Okay.
pull it out. Another one is sugar cane. There's a natural chemical derived from sugar cane that helps extract.
That's interesting.
So that's
Wow.
one of the ones I use. So I try and use a more natural
Which is awesome. I love
decaf
that. No.
process. So
Yeah. Because the doctor's got me on decaf. So you guys have very good decaf.
Okay.
So
Good.
no. So when you moved to Kearney, what was Kearney from where you were at in Washington State? Why Kearney? Or did you have family here or
No family here in Kearney.
Okay.
We just kind of felt the urge to get back to the Midwest again. I grew up in Lincoln.
Okay.
My
Okay.
wife's parents both went to UNL.
Oh really? Okay.
Her dad grew up in Fremont area.
I didn't know that. Okay, so you had
So
ties definitely to Nebraska.
we do have ties to Nebraska.
Okay.
And in fact, Kristen, my wife's parents, and my parents met at a conference in Lincoln.
Okay.
When we're both teenagers, so that's
That's
first
love
time our
that.
families crossed, and that
Okay.
was when they were living in Washington and we were living
Oh really?
in
Okay.
Nebraska.
So
So,
what took you out to Washington?
so I was born in Washington.
Oh, you were okay.
Yeah, my
Okay.
mom was born and raised in Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
She was one of 10 kids, so I have a
Okay.
ton of relatives in
Yeah,
Washington
that
State.
you do. So
I think I'm one of like 60 or 70 cousins on that side.
is that all?
Yeah,
That's a
so
lot of cousins. Wow.
we're a pretty big family.
So when you have family reunions, you got that's wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome though.
So so born in Washington, moved to Lincoln for my dad moved to Lincoln for a job.
Okay.
Travel around some, and then moved back to Washington State in 2000.
Oh really? Okay.
So we were there for 23 years, and then just kind of wanted to get back to the Midwest, and
Yeah.
we were looking at South Dakota, and then kind of our gaze dropped.
We
down
did it,
to
okay.
Nebraska, and we're like, hey, Nebraska's something we both know.
Yeah.
And, housing's better here, and then we didn't want a real big town.
No, I hear you.
So I didn't want to go back to Lincoln. Definitely didn't want to go to Omaha.
No, I wouldn't either.
And as we happened upon Kearney, and started looking, just kind of researching and learning about Kearney,
Mm-hmm.
and I was familiar with Grand Island too, and it's a great town, but
Yeah.
um, it wasn't really it wasn't my first choice, and so we were just looking at Kearney, and the more we saw about Kearney, we're like, this is a great
Kearney has a lot to
small,
offer,
big
really.
town. So
No, it's a very nice town. So, and it kind of has, being small, but still has kind of a city vibe, kind of,
yeah.
and I like that. So,
And also, Kearney's a real tourist town.
yes.
Eunice has done
Huh.
tremendous work to
Amazing what he's done out there.
make it a
Yeah.
conference town. So
Yep.
between Kearney is the next biggest conference town outside of Lincoln and Denver.
I can believe that.
And I think Eunice has the largest conference space. I think it's Denver and Omaha. I don't think even Lincoln has as big of a
That says that says a lot for a town the
Yeah.
size of Kearney to have that.
and Kearney has twice the hotel beds
That I can believe too.
than Grand Island.
Oh
So
my
even
gosh.
though Grand Island's twice as big.
Yep.
So I knew, especially as well, like for coffee,
Mhm.
and coffee, a coffee shop was in my mind when
Yeah.
we moved here. But I knew coffee would be, it would be probably an easier sell in a tourist town,
Mhm. True.
than maybe somewhere else. So
Yeah, I can see that. So I have to ask, this is Dreamcatcher podcast. What were your dreams when you were growing up?
one more.
Because most
Well-
people, I've only had two people over the year that have been doing this that said they had no dreams.
Oh yeah.
Do you have some dreams?
Yeah. For whatever reason, I love water. I
Okay.
love swimming.
Okay.
If I believed in reincarnation, I'd want to come back as some water animal.
Is that okay? That's awesome.
But and then I love killer whales, so I wanted to be a killer whale trainer.
Did you? Okay. Oh wow, that'd be okay.
I really did.
What a dream.
But obviously that didn't happen.
Not
And it's-
yet.
And it's kind of fallen out of vogue with these days. But
Yeah.
I love the water.
Okay.
I love water animals. So
So do you surf or anything like that?
I don't surf.
Okay.
No, just swim wherever I can.
Okay. Swimming's good.
I do a little bit of scuba diving.
Do you?
So I got my accreditation there, and I enjoy that.
So how big? I've snorkeled, but I've never scuba dived. So how is that a pretty in-depth process?
It was a week course, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Just to get your basic scuba certification,
Okay.
and I think you're good. I forget if you're good down to like 60 feet.
That's quite a ways down.
Yeah. Yeah, you can push that a little bit, but it's definitely obviously you have to be very careful. 'Cause
Oh
it's,
yes. Yes.
especially with the water compression. It's a wild. So one of the training exercises that they had is they put us down at I think 20 feet or 30 feet, and basically you have to pull your regulator out and go to the surface and scream all the way up. And because your air, I want to say, I forget, 10 or 15 feet, your air basically halves in size.
Really?
So that's the compression factor. So
Okay.
the same breath of air that you take at 30 feet is 4 times, no, or 2 times, I guess, the size is what you breathe at the surface. So if you hold that and go to the surface just at 30 feet, you can explode your lungs.
Which is
So
not a
that's
good thing.
why they train you to scream, and it was wild. You didn't run out of air, even though it was like,
That's amazing.
a 10-second rise or whatever.
Oh,
you just
wow.
didn't run out of air because it kept expanding.
I never realized
So
that.
scuba is certainly nothing to mess around with if you don't know.
Yeah,
what
I
you're
would.
doing.
I would definitely want. Yeah.
But
No, I mean, I love beaches. I love that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But there was a couple years ago, Cheryl and I were down in Key West, and I would love to go on like the coral reef they've got
Yes.
down there and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. But no, and I've never gotten a hold of these people out here in Kearney.
Oh, yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
that makes me interested. That it's like, wow, I never realized that at all.
it's pretty fun.
No, so okay. This first podcast you ever done?
Yes.
Would you ever consider doing your own podcast? Went
Um,
from Peony
possibly.
Coffee?
Yeah, possibly.
No.
Yeah.
So, I was going to ask, So, what is next with it? Where do you see this in 5 years? Where would you like to see it?
Um, I yeah. Um, I'm probably torn to some degree.
Okay.
Um, I love the hospitality industry. Um, you know,
See that? Yeah.
I'm learning that maybe I love the idea of of some of the hospitality industry more than maybe the practical side of it.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
certainly a lot of work, and just kind of staying
Yeah.
fresh and,
Yeah.
you know, stocking and planning new menus or just keeping on the front edge.
Yeah.
And certainly some of that is as we're brand new, and that development is a little bit more of a challenge. But
No, does become your life. That's for sure.
becomes your life. And honestly, one of the things I miss the most, having started the coffee
Okay.
shop, is my morning cup of coffee
I can see
on the
that.
front porch
Yeah.
or in summer on my chair.
Right. Right.
So I've been trying to do more of that, and think through ways where maybe I can achieve that.
Do the both.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
you know, and so um, I don't know. We're in a right as a we you and I have talked. I do construction as well,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so there's certainly things I like about that and flexibilities of that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
The the rigidness of a coffee shop and being open certain times is,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
always my cup of tea. But I think
No.
if I'm able to staff it, and have a little bit more flexibility,
I could see
that way.
that because you have to have your life. You don't want to trade one for the other. So,
But we're kind of at I think a crossroads as far as maintaining what we've got or
yeah,
going bigger.
I could see.
So
So, chains in one of these in every one towns along the interstate here in Nebraska.
no, not a no, not a
That would
chain.
that,
And I'm not. I mean, at again, they're all.
I'm sure they're yeah,
Every
they're all
idea
great.
is
Yep.
is valid
Yep.
and and up for discussion. I'm I'm not I'm not just about the like a drive through and a chain experience.
Yeah, and that
And
I don't care for at all.
and a chain providing consistent experience across multiple locations is a challenge.
I would think so. Yeah.
And part of what we're selling is us. So
Mhm.
the question is, how do you duplicate yourself?
True. Yeah. Very true. Yes.
So
yeah.
it's easier to do that with one location,
It is. Yeah.
and to be really careful or about both your selection of staff that you hire and their
Yes.
training, and investing
Yes.
a lot in them.
Yeah.
So our goal and what I would strive for is just really incredible hospitality. When people
Yep.
come in, I want them to really enjoy the space, enjoy the atmosphere,
Yep.
and just feel like they're treated royally when they come
Yeah.
into Penny Coffee Roasters. We don't always hit that mark for sure.
But
Um,
nobody does. That's aiming for that. But you guys do a very good job of that. So.
Nobody does, but when we don't, I'd like to acknowledge it,
Yep. Yep.
to do what we can to make it right in that moment and
Yep.
then learn for the next time.
True.
So
That is true.
there's a book called Unreasonable Hospitality,
Okay.
and it is about a restaurateur in New York who has won a lot of awards just because of his unreasonable hospitality. So the experience that
Okay.
you get in going to his restaurants is incredible and it's top shelf. Like even he's had patrons come in. I think one story goes he had patrons come in. They talked about how they always wanted to ride bikes on some trail or whatever.
Right.
They just never had. And he sent out one of his staff members, got bikes, and made it happen for them
Wow.
that day.
That is
so.
okay. That's
So
pretty
and this
interesting.
is a guy who they're plunking down $1,000 for a meal type
Wow.
restaurant. So
Okay.
it's very 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 high end, but still that idea of
It's very
you
interesting.
come and we are unreasonable in our extent of
I
hospitality.
like that a
So,
lot.
I don't think there's very many places like that out there, and
Not today's world. I don't
you
think
know,
so. No.
and especially in the coffee shop industry, it's easy to just kind of get in that cranking out the coffees
Mhm.
and stuff, and we want to, as much as possible, make people feel like they're special when they come into our shop.
Yeah, and you do. Your whole family does because your family kind of it's a
Yeah.
family. And I don't even know how many kids you have exactly, but you
We have six.
six.
Yep.
Okay, and but it's always like I give Stuart a rough time
Yeah.
about math.
Yep.
So, but that adds up. That's really nice, you know. And your daughter and Clayton, is it?
Yep. Clayton.
Okay. I know. When I was here right before Christmas, I talked to them. Well, my sister-in-law and I talked to them like 3 hours,
Yeah.
and that's really awesome because they take the time and they're very good conversationalists too. I was not that way at that age, not even close.
Yeah.
Oh my
Get
gosh.
Clayton talking. He won't talk.
No, which is so cool. In fact, my sister-in-law was very impressed with that too. So, what do you have here for coffees and baked goods?
Yeah.
To let the audience know.
So, kind of one of our taglines is simple, done well.
Okay.
So we have our menu isn't super extensive. If you're going to want the energy drinks and the 50 flavors, you're going to need to go somewhere else.
Right.
So we serve your basic espresso coffees, your lattes,
Okay.
your cortado, it pretty much anything with espresso. Our flavors, we've got 4 that we have
Really?
standing. We'll rotate in a few seasonal ones, but we have hazelnut, caramel, vanilla, and then kind of a unique one called cookie butter.
Cookie butter. It sounds really good.
Yeah, flavoring. So, we'll do hot or iced. We don't do blended at this time.
Okay.
We, have your mocha. Let's see what else. And then we have your drip coffees. And generally, if you have a coffee like, do you know what a red eye is?
I've heard of it, but I don't know if I know what it is.
So it's just a cup of drip coffee
Okay.
with a shot of espresso on it.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, or a cafe au lait, which is kind of drip coffee with some steamed milk in it.
Okay.
So if you have it, we'll as
Get
a
that.
recipe, we'll make it up for you. So even if it's not on our menu,
Okay.
on some of those things,
Okay.
we can do.
Very, very awesome.
If we have it, we'll do it. And then for non-coffee, we have chai tea and London fog, which we brew from tea base.
Really?
So
Okay.
instead of a powder or a pre-made, we
you
brew
do
it
it.
in-house.
Okay.
And our syrups
Very
are
good.
made in-house. And then we have obviously hot cocoa, and then we do zingers, and that's basically just a herbal tea. We have wild berry, raspberry, tangerine, and it's just over ice and
Okay.
with a little bit of sweetener in it.
That
So,
sounds really refreshing.
yeah.
Man. Okay.
refreshing summer drink. And then for
Very
baked
nice.
goods, our standing menu is we have several different types of scones, which are, again, all this stuff is in-house, made in-house.
I just had a
My
lemon
wife-
one a little bit ago.
My wife is a pretty good scone maker.
Yeah.
So, and we, even this week, we had someone come in, they're like, scones, they're always so dry,
Yeah, a lot of times they are.
So they bought one and they were blown away by it. So,
Well, sometimes they're so dry in other places that you can't really swallow them because they're so
Right.
dry. No,
So
yours are
they're-
very good,
pretty fresh. And then we have Parmesan baked egg.
which is really, really good. You
Yeah,
just got me on
that's
that the other day.
Those have been a hit.
Yeah.
We have a British sausage roll. So that's just breakfast sausage wrapped in a flaky crust.
Okay.
And then a baked oatmeal, which has also been a pretty big hit. It's
Okay,
topped with some
very good.
yogurt and fruit. So
Nice. No, it's all
And
really
then
good.
Saturday mornings, we usually do a breakfast special. And so
Really? Okay.
we've just kind of implemented a new thing. We've rotated and we've tried out a bunch of different things over the last 9 months, and now we're gonna make a
okay.
breakfast eggs biscuit sandwich.
Okay.
We'll have a few different options, including
Nice.
a vegetarian option, and then we'll be serving going forward on Saturdays Liege waffles.
What does that mean?
A Liege waffle is different in the sense of usually on waffles you have just use like a pancake batter.
Sure.
So this is a yeast batter.
Okay, that's interesting.
So it's got some butter in it. It tastes a little more yeasty, if you will. And
Okay,
then we mix in the dough, this pearl sugar. So it's like little chunks of sugar.
sounds
And
cool.
then when you fry it on the waffle
Yeah.
iron, that caramelizes throughout the
Oh, that
waffle.
sounds really good.
And so you've got this buttery, sugary waffle, not overly sugary, but like I can just eat it plain.
I
They're
think I
just
could too. That sounds really
amazing.
awesome.
So then we'll top it with either fresh fruit and whipped cream,
Okay.
or Nutella,
Oh, okay.
and we'll have a caramel banana option as well.
That sounds really good.
So,
And you started doing that, or you're going to
yes, Saturday.
You have
Last
some-
Saturday was our first.
Okay,
And then,
okay.
well,
Wow.
yeah, going forward.
Might be back Saturday.
Yeah.
That sounds very good.
They are awesome, and they're not very popular. I mean, or they're not very well known.
Yeah,
I
and I
should
see
say.
because I've never heard anything quite
Yeah.
like that, but they sound
But it's
really
it's an experience.
okay.
Again, I've had them, and I had another one again Saturday. I'm like, oh, these are just
No, I got to
they're
definitely
so
check
good.
that out because I have never heard anything quite like that. So, and for people, where are you located at?
Yeah, we're located in Kearney. Just off the bricks in old downtown Kearney. So
Okay.
on 21st Street. If you know where Bruce Furniture is, we're just north of that. And we're just east, I guess, of the library, the
Okay.
Kearney Library.
Okay,
On
and-
the same street that the library is on.
Yeah, in Kearney, Nebraska.
Yeah, in Kearney.
And so are you on online presence?
Our online presence?
Yeah.
PCRoasters.com is my website. And then I have both Instagram and Facebook
Dude, okay. Awesome.
channels.
So,
Yeah.
very good.
Penny Coffee.
We'll put that in the show notes too.
Yeah.
Get one question. What'd you do in Russia? Yeah, I've been thinking that's in my mind.
Yeah.
So,
We were with an organization, kind of a ministry that just worked with Russian orphans. So
oh wow.
we, did that for 4 years in Russia, and then they kind of created a sister orphanage in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we brought Russian orphans there, and so we were there
Awesome.
for 3 years. So
How did you know about this organization, or how did you get?
yeah, it was part of our one that we had been a part of as a family. So.
Wow. So was Russia like you thought it'd be like?
Well, I had no idea. I was 15.
Yeah, at that
when
that
we
age,
went
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It's certainly an incredible experience.
I
and
bet.
It was one of those experiences where, I think every American needs to spend extended time in another country.
I 100% agree.
America is a very young country.
Yep.
And we just forget that,
We do.
and we think everybody thinks like us,
And
and they
don't.
don't.
No.
And they've been doing it for many, many times longer than we
Okay.
have.
Okay.
You know, like when we were in Moscow, they celebrated their 850th anniversary.
Wow.
Well, as Americans, we can't even comprehend.
No, we can't. I mean, close
So-
to that.
When you have a culture that's been doing this, just the city is 850 years old.
Amazing.
It's got so much history, so much tradition, so much culture that you can't just go in
No.
in a
True.
night or in a week or in years even or in decades and change a culture.
No, that's
and neither
true.
do you
Yeah.
necessarily want to,
Right,
But
right.
we all have things where we could grow and learn. But it was a great experience. Now I'm not, it was a great experience.
No, I mean, probably with all your family, wouldn't be able to do that now. But I could see your whole family doing something like that too.
Yeah,
So,
no,
going
it'd be
and doing
fun
that.
to take them all over there. Definitely want to. Yeah, that's a
No,
great
I think that's
experience.
good. So in Kearney, are there other ways you kind of reach out? With your family, I would think there'd be other things that you reach out to help the community.
Let's see. We haven't found a whole lot of other ways yet. It's been mainly
Okay.
just the coffee shop,
Okay.
and that's been really fun.
Yeah,
To be
yeah.
able to reach out, it's been surprising just how many people we get to know,
I bet.
and
Yes.
just through the coffee shop. So,
Yep.
we haven't done a whole lot of other things, and so the coffee shop has been a
Well, and
great
this
way
is,
to reach out.
and this is that anybody who's never done something like this,
Yeah.
this does take, especially in your first year, especially when you're trying to get everything in sort of an order, or and that
Yeah.
that never is because it evolves all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did restaurant manager for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for anybody who wants to do that, is for sure. So,
I know. I think that was one of our first conversations, and I still
yeah.
need to pick your brain on
Yeah, that
how to
was.
get better.
Oh my gosh. That was it was awesome, but I was learning Spanish because I was down in Texas. So yeah, there were some people that spoke Spanish that is like, we'll teach you,
Yeah.
which it was not a bad way to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that was my life, and that's why I know it's your life too.
Yeah.
So with
Yeah.
all the other things you do. So Tim, before we end the podcast, is there anything else you'd like to let the audience know about?
Yeah, coffee is it's a great medium to gather around.
It is
And even
perfect.
if you're not a coffee drinker, we also have had a few classes, a few tastings.
Have you? Okay.
We're going to do some other events as well. So keep a track on our Facebook. But
Awesome.
those have been really fun.
Yeah, I bet they.
All my coffee experience is self-taught. And
Okay.
so, I've never worked for another coffee shop or roaster.
Hmm.
I've never gone to classes.
Uh-huh.
It's just kind of been trial and error. And
That's
I
that-
certainly
that's-
don't know everything
Yeah.
by any stretch of the imagination. And so, like, even on some of our classes or tastings that we've
Uh-huh.
done, it's been fun to tell people about it, get them excited.
Yeah.
And not just about drinking coffee. It's not just about that, but like,
Sure.
it's a very fascinating process, right? And you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
And so
Yes.
the more you learn about something, you
You
just
want to
kinda
know
get
more.
excited, and
Yeah,
and
yep.
even if you don't drink coffee, to learn how to
Yep.
brew, to learn how, where it comes from, to learn the different processing methods.
True.
For the longest time, like this, okay, Ethiopian. There's two main ways that coffee is processed. One is called natural, one's called washed.
Okay.
And what happens is when the coffee's picked, it's in a cherry,
Okay.
and there's two beans in each cherry. They're actually a coffee bean is a half of a
Oh,
bean.
that makes sense. Now I didn't know
Together,
that.
In
Okay.
the cherry, there's
Okay.
two.
Okay.
So that cherry literally has some fleshy fruit, and it has
Okay.
a red skin and
Okay.
some fleshy fruit around the coffee bean itself. And so during the wash method, what happens is they put it through a processor and it beats that pulp and skin off, and then
Did
they
not know that.
wash the rest of it off the bean, and then they soak it and let it ferment actually for about 24 hours
Really?
in water, and then they put it out in the field or wherever and dry it.
Wow.
The natural process is they leave all that fruit on the bean and
Okay.
just dry it right on the bean.
Interesting.
And what happens is that fruit imparts a fruitier note,
Which makes sense.
to it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so Ethiopia is really, it's very typical for you to have a natural processed coffee come out of Ethiopia.
Okay.
And again, it should have been obvious probably, but I was like, well, why? I don't know why they do it that way. They just, that's
That's
what
just
they
the way
typically do.
Right. Right.
Until someone's like, well, think about Ethiopia and how much
Yeah.
water is there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it hit me.
Yeah,
oh
I can
my
see why
gosh,
they.
there's dry water is a pretty
it's
scarce
premium,
commodity,
Yeah.
especially compared to places like
Yep.
Guatemala or Honduras, where it's just there's a lot. It's very
Yeah.
tropical.
Yeah.
Ethiopia is different, and that's
Yeah.
why they do it. And so
More out of necessity. that they
out
have
of
to,
necessity
yeah.
than actual
Yeah.
anything else. So just learning fun things like that together and seeing people get excited about just
Mhm.
things. That's
Yep.
so. I would say, look for events coming up, and then
Okay. And you post those on
put
on
the
social
posters-
media.
Yep, on
Okay.
Facebook.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
if you ever want to stop in Penny Coffee and just have a conversation about coffee, or
Yes.
we love people getting excited about it and experiencing coffee
Awesome.
and experiencing life together.
Exactly. No. We've become good friends, and
Yeah.
I also know you like wine too.
Yep. Yep.
Which is a good thing.
Yep.
So, well,
Yep.
Kim, thank you for being my
Yeah.
guest on the Dream Catcher podcast. And any way I can help you, move this all forward, let me know.
I appreciate it, Mark.
So, but
I'm able to do this.
oh, thank you. And we'll end it there. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we'll be talking soon.
Have a great day.